welcome everybody to Discussing Depression with Casey Moran. I am Casey Moran, and back in studio, I did a couple episodes I have a portable recorder now, so I've been interviewing people in LA, comedians, and it's fun, but it's better to be in studio because it sounds better, and I like having, I had to do same side sitters. I was sitting on the same couch as a comedian. It's a dude, and I only have one mic, so I was passing it back and forth. It was adorable if you think about it, but
Really close connection.
yeah, close connection. But I had a good time. All right, so we have a great guest in here. You might have just heard her voice. She's been on in the Infamous Chronicles before, and we're going to get into that. Hannah, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful, Casey. How are you?
Good. Thanks for doing this. We've been wanting to do this for months now.
I know it's been a long time pending.
Well, you're busy, and my schedule's different than yours. And so it's I also tell people, people that hit me up about doing it, I love. But sometimes they hit me up when they're in a depressive state, and I said, I don't think we should take advantage of that. While I kind of want to know what's going through your head, I don't need it to be on air. We could just talk off air, because then that's basically me just promoting that or, kind of taking advantage, and I don't want to do that. So, not that you were or anything, but there have been people hit me up and they're like, hey, I'm depressed now. Interview me now. And I'm like, I don't know if that's the idea. This isn't sex, I'm not going to do it just because you're hard. All right. So your episode of Infamous Chronicles, and Jay and I have talked about it. It's there's almost 100 now, which is crazy to think, but I'd say you're in the top 5 in terms of impactful ones. A lot of people emailed us and reached out to you, reached out to me, reached out to Jay, other people, because your story, because if you didn't listen to the Infamous Chronicle episode, please do. I think it's called Hannah's Bravery. You could listen to that. I think you should listen to that and listen to this. So you could do that one first or this or whatever. But for those of people that don't know your story, if you can kind of just give the cliff notes of, cause you're young and you've gone through a lot. And if you can kind of just bring the listeners up to date, for a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, of course. So I'm 23, soon to be 24, and I am a child with a parent who is addicted to methamphetamine, which has kind of always controlled my life, her life, my siblings' life. And it's just kind of been a journey of different trials and tribulations that I've gone through, having to endure having a parent who is basically a child themselves trying to raise children. And I've stayed on the road clean and sober, and I graduated from high school. I went to Moore Park College. I graduated from there, and then I transferred to Channel Islands University, where I also just graduated last May with my bachelor's in history. And now I'm looking into a credential program to be a teacher. I'm currently subbing, and I love it. I love working with children, and it really brings a whole new perspective into my life that I've never had before. And it's just kind of, I'm doing really good now. I've gotten I've always been good, but, there's always times where you slip up, and, I just I've gone through a lot, and I'm still strong, and I'm still here, and I'm kind of a badass, so.
Right. Well, I want to get into that because you talked about, you have siblings.
I do.
And so they had to go through the same thing. And you early on kind of had to be a mom figure, before you were really you were still a kid,
Yeah, I was before even a teenager.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, do you think you want to get into teaching and be a positive impact on these kids because in a way your mom wasn't like that? Is that part of it, or
that is part of it?
You just like teaching?
I love teaching. There's just something about watching a kid get it, and you see that click and that moment the light turns on, and it's a really powerful feeling.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I would say that my mom not exactly being the figure I would have wanted or needed in my life at that time, I would like to be that for others, because I had teachers who stepped up to the plate because they knew my situation at home, and they knew I needed a peer or an adult
that's
that
cool.
I could go to and talk to. And so I always really connected with my teachers, and I still have relationships with some from high school that I still
really?
talk to, and they check up on me and they see how I'm doing.
Wow, that's cool. My teachers hated me.
Yeah, I was always the nerdy one who would go in at my lunch and hey, can I eat my lunch in here?
Can I help clean the board?
Yeah,
oh my
can
God.
I just hang out? And
that's cool. You need to have that, which is interesting that you say nerdy, because if you know Hannah, she doesn't look like a nerd. I mean, you're wearing a Hogwarts shirt, so maybe you do, but like normally you don't. You look like this like model girl, but then that's, well, I think that's a misconception that a girl that is attractive can't be a nerd and smart. And it's like, it's so wrong. I mean, the way, that's the thing is nobody views guys that way. A guy can look gorgeous and be smart, but for the most part, they don't view them the same way they view girls. So like, if a girl sleeps with 4 guys in high school, she's a slut. But if I sleep with 4 girls, I'm the man. It's a weird world that we live in, and it's just not fair. It really is. And by the way, 4 guys, you're not a slut. You're just having a good time. So I do, you have gone through a lot, and, you talked about that, a little bit here and then on Infamous Chronicles. You wanted to talk to me about depression and anxiety and the things that you go through on top of all the things you already had to go. It's weird because you were probably born with some type of mental illness. And then on top of that, you have all these other added stressors that, really fucked you up. And then you could have gone down a path of drugs and alcohol and debauchery. You really easy. I mean, it was like, well, it's addiction, for those of you that don't know, in my opinion, is a disease. And so when you're born with that, and I was born with that, my mom is an addict. But she's a drug counselor now. She's like 20 years clean. She's great. But I think that, that's I'm really nervous that I gave up drinking 5 months ago, which is great. But now I still have a sex addiction and I need to work on that. So, a food addiction is more big now because you give up one addiction. It's like a sense almost. You give up one sense, the others are stronger. So, I guess if you lose one, the others are stronger. Okay. So, how are you able to balance everything in your life when you have mental illness and you have, the history with your family and, you pay all your bills, you have all these jobs that you're juggling, relationships, friendships, family relationships, how are you able to do that? Because that would be great advice to give to somebody that is your age and maybe going through similar things.
I mean, honestly, there's days all the time where I feel like I'm not living to my fullest. I'm not being the best sister I can be. I'm not being the best friend I could be. I'm not being the best girlfriend, daughter, roommate, whatever. Do
you take that like personally when you don't feel that, when you feel like,
sometimes, I mean,
it affects you negatively? Wow.
If I start to feel so for an instance, I have a younger brother, he's 10. So there's a 13-year gap between us. Yeah. But I spent most of his life raising him, taking him to school, being his mother force because my mom wasn't around. And so there's times now where I don't live at home anymore, so I can't make it to always holidays because of work, or I can't make it
all the soccer games or whatever he's got,
or anything. I'm always missing out on things, and I feel like I'm just really fucking up when I do that. And when and in that case, I'll cry, I'll be upset, I will be the hardest on myself than anyone else is. Even though everyone's like, no, you're doing good, dude. You're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. And it's like, yeah, but I didn't get to do this, so fuck me, right? And then it's a dark path to go down, but I mean, what keeps me balanced is I just try and stay focused on the fact that I am doing everything that I need to do for me in the long run. So working as many jobs as I do, that's because I need to do it so that I can live on my own, because living on my own contributes to my happiness. And if I want to continue that, then I have to work hard. Right. I mean, staying busy, it helps me stay happy, but it also can take a toll on you when you get too busy. But,
been there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all about finding that balance and then realizing, even when you do feel like you're having a shortcoming or you're not being there completely, that they still love you. They're not upset. They're not going to hate you for it. If they truly are a family or a friend or someone that cares about you, they will understand that
of course.
You can't make something sometimes because life gets in the way, and people who don't understand that have never had a hard time in life.
That's important you say that, because I mean, you're 23, so there's pros and cons of having to grow up early. I didn't. And so sometimes I didn't know the value of certain things, and I was babied. So that affected my life in a different way. I'm still very grateful for everything I have. However, I didn't have to grow up early. So like in a way you became independent early, but then the con is you didn't get the love that you probably should have got. And that could have spiraled into a world of, we live in a town and you grew up in the era of the heroin times, and Simi and Royal, they did a Dr. Phil special, and you were going to school when that was going on. I was not. So I'm a little older, but 7 years to be exact. So is that like, how has your mom's issues affected your life both positively and negatively? Because I think there is both.
There is both. There definitely is. My mom's addiction and her issues that followed with the addiction affected me negatively in the sense that, like, I didn't have a mom. Like, I mean, yeah, I have a mom, and I love my mom, but, like, she's definitely not the one I would have picked, like, for myself. And it's definitely not the situation I would have put myself in. But you know what? That's what I was handed, so I have to make the best out of it, because there is no other option. Like, you don't strive for mediocrity, you only strive for excellence. And I feel like that's the mindset you have to have. And no matter what happens, like, failures only mean you're going to be successful in the end. Because it means you're trying and you're trying. So my mom's just... the fact that she wasn't present always, or was in and out of jail or rehab or whatever the case may be, it was hard to explain that to friends at a young age, and to have parents in PTA, be like, oh, where's your mom? And you're like, oh, she's in a federal facility up north. Like, I collect calls once a week. Like, it's odd because it's not the norm. So it kind of creates a stigma early on amongst, like, younger kids who don't understand, where it's just like, oh, your mom's in jail. And then you have the parents who are like, oh, well, her parents are in jail, so she's not a good kid to hang out with. Right. But, I mean, in a positive regard, like, it made me a lot stronger of a person. I definitely wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm definitely a very I carry a lot of emotions with me, and I'm not afraid to show it. Like, I'm not afraid to cry, get angry, like, I will throw things, scream. Like, I'm not, like, a stone cold, like, emotionless person, but she's definitely given me, like, tougher skin and thicker skin. That's big. To things that, like, minor upsets. Like, something can happen and I'd be like, that's okay, because, like, I've endured this, I can get through this. Okay. And it's helped me, like, just become the person I am today, because now I let go of all that anger and I just focus on the forgiving part, and it just makes me a stronger person, because I've already made it this far, I can make it so much farther. Right. Great answer. Now you talked about, like, the stigma of, like, certain things. Mental illness is a thing that I think there's this huge stigma on even now. Like, how, you're in a schooling system. So what do you think how society views it in terms of, I'm trying to go to, like, local schools and talk about my story, because I think that people that are just normal people can go and share their story, because it could help people, because I was dealing with depression when I was in high school. But do you think that society views it in a negative way even now? I mean, like, our president has mental illness. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah, it's bizarre. So I mean, like, how do you think not just society, but, like, the school system, you're a teacher, so you're going to be dealing with kids that are likely going through issues that you went through, and now you have to be that positive person, or you have to see what the, what the faculty is going to do, what all that stuff, hopefully the positive stuff. But I think it's still a huge stigma in a there is. The moment awareness needs to happen. There is an awareness that needs to happen, because the moment you say I can think back to high school, and I was diagnosed with, like, depressive disorder, and I was on medication for it, and I had anxiety, and I had friends who'd be like, oh, I'm just so depressed today. Right. And I'm like, oh, are you? Yeah, you're so depressed. That's the thing. What? Because you didn't have the Wi-Fi code, bitch. That's. Mom to bring you lunch. You're so depressed today. Yeah, that. I'm glad you brought that up, because being depressed and having depression, two different things. Totally two different things. And people think they can relate just because, like, the moment you say, oh, like, well, I have depression, or, like, if you, like, say, oh, I have anxiety, it's like, oh, well, I have anxiety. Well, we've all been sad. We've all been sad. We've all been anxious, but that's like saying, if you masturbated, you had sex. Yeah. Like, it's just not the case. Not exactly sure, the end result was the end result, but, you don't, And
whatever.
I feel like on the flip side of it, it's like, or you hear like someone has depression, it's like, oh, that kid's going to be the one that's going to shoot up the school.
That's exactly
like, or you
right.
better be nice to him because
it's a negative stigma.
Are always the one that are going to shoot up this or do
yeah.
this, and it's just like the moment you place that's like the moment you put that thought out there, you're only asking for trouble because like. You don't know, like, that person. You don't know what they're going through.
Right.
You don't know what shit anyone is going through unless you know them. And it's like, and to just make off-the-hand comments like that.
It's really,
it's triggering.
And I mean, I'm sure suicides have happened when people go, this kid's gonna be a mess. And it's like, they're already they're in their own head about their life and they're already not happy. How is, you making these, judgments on them or their family because they have something that they can't control? That's like saying like somebody's going to do something because they're gay. They were born with it. Just like most people were born with mental illness. Some people inherit it for different things. Okay. So you've gone through a lot. You've been through, with your mom and your family and all that. Being a girl, not even an attractive girl, just a girl in general. Do you think that when people see that you're broken, especially when you're even younger, do you think people try to take advantage of you like in a sexual way? You don't have to answer it, but I get nervous for girls that, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no,
cause they're broken. So they have parent issues.
I mean, as much as like I joke about having mommy daddy issues because I have both.
Right.
Let's be real. It does. Like when you do enter into a relationship with somebody, like I normally will right off the bat be like, look, this is the situation. Like, I have 5 siblings. I have a stepdad and a dad who are very present in my life. I have a biological father who I do not talk to, and my mom is not in my life.
Right.
Like, that is my layout. That's what I have going. But it's like, but I don't.
In the back of their mind, do you think they're thinking, "Oh, the sex is going to be great"? Because I just,
I'm sure they're like, "Oh, this bitch is crazy."
Right.
But I mean,
does she work at Hot Topic?
Yeah. But it's like it's better to just say it and then rather than like lie and like have this person like, oh, where's your mom? Oh, she's away. She's out of town. And then it's like, then you finally have to come to truth with it. But
have you seen the look on somebody's face? Like, oh no, I'm getting into this crazy person's.
Definitely. When I was like younger, I was a lot more, it wasn't that I was asking for pity, but I was a lot more affected by it. So I had a lot more
you were younger
behind it, of course. And so I kind of like, I would lead with it, and then I'd always end up with the guys that are like, "Oh, I can take you away. I can do this. I can be your Prince Charming."
Oh God!
I would
guaranteed.
I would always fall for those guys, and it was always like.
I would have thought you would go to the bad guys, though. You seem like somebody that would end up with the guy with the leather jacket and that's like living, in his car.
Like the water polo player.
Did you really?
Football player.
Well, football players they're douchebags.
Yeah, they all are.
Yeah, I mean, did you think that? Did any? Okay. So anybody that you dated, did their mom try to take over for your mom in a way?
Yes.
Wow.
I had,
that was just a top of the head question right there.
That was boyfriends' moms and friends' moms.
Is that right?
Have always
well, cause you're a good person. I think people would want you around.
Yeah, they tried to fill the void once they realized like, I'm not like some shithead kid and I'm actually,
right.
I've got a good head on my shoulders.
That goes back to the stigma of,
having a parent that
they think that you're automatically going to be like them. Just like, when you have a mental illness, they think you're going to shoot up a school. It's like you're just taking this like, if my dad was a star athlete, I'm not going to be my dad.
No.
So just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not, it's not fair to do for the kid. And you're a kid. I mean, if you could go back and change anything about, not how you were raised, but maybe how you handled things, would you change anything, or are you proud of yourself for being strong? Because you should be.
I'm actually pretty proud of myself. I mean, if you'd asked me this question 6 months, a year ago, it might have been different.
Really?
Just because I've had a lot of growth in the last few months. With
you got some negative people out of your life. I remember friends. We won't go into detail,
friends, but I've stopped talking to my mom. Like
You almost went to go visit her. You did visit her.
I did visit
How did that go?
It was interesting.
Did you have to like cut her off type of thing?
I did. That's what it was.
That's hard because you said you were going to do that and you never told me how it went.
I know. It was a conversation to just kind of let her know that like I forgive you, but I don't forget what happened, and I need this time now in my life to grow for me and not be doing it because I'm like, because it's something I need to do anymore. Like, I need to do what I need to do for me because I'm an adult and I no longer have parents telling me what I need to do or being responsible for or anything. And I needed her to understand that when I'm ready to form a relationship with her again, that will be on my terms. I don't need her to just keep contacting me.
Gotcha. That's good. How important, because you stay fit and everything, how important is eating healthy and exercising for your just mental health and physical health?
I mean, I kind of eat like shit. Like, I love...
Doesn't show, girl. Doesn't show.
I love Del Taco.
Oh, who doesn't, though?
I live across the street from In-N-Out, so I'm there like at least...
On the Stearns?
Oh, no.
Oh, the Camarillo one's the best one.
Yeah, and I live right across the street.
I know all about that.
Smell it like when
oh, my God. Do you add chilies? You got to add chilies.
Always.
Oh, dude, it's...
Chilies.
Yeah, that's life-changing.
It's the best experience.
One time I put on Facebook, I went to In-N-Out and you can, or like I got, or something like, go to In-N-Out and then I put add chilies, but it autocorrected ash chilies. So people were like, oh no, are you okay? And I'm like, what? Oh my God.
You're like, oh no.
No, it's add. Okay,
so I don't eat like all that great. I have more.
Do you go to the gym and stuff, right? Yeah. And you're young, so you still have the good metabolism.
Yeah, and I mean, I started eating better now just because, like, my body doesn't like when I eat like shit as much anymore. But
right.
I like to work out. I do. The feeling of, like, either lifting or running or whatever, that burn you get from whatever workout.
It's the endorphins going, yeah. It's a high. It's weird. The runner's high.
Mm-hmm. And that serotonin boost is just exactly what I need. And that's kind of what keeps me from going back to using medication to treat my depression or anxiety, is the fact that I can go run or I can go to the gym and just lift a little bit and I'll get that anger or frustration, or I can think. I think the best at the gym. The gym
is that right?
The gym in the shower.
Hold on, though. Aren't there creepers like trying to look at your butt and stuff when you're?
But like, I put my headphones in and my music's so loud that I don't look at anyone else.
Good, because I'm sure they're just staring at your ass and you're focused. Good, because that's what guys do. I can't go to gyms because I'm like, I'll just work out by myself. I just don't. I get uncomfortable there. Not that everyone's looking at me, but if it was a gay gym. Okay, so this is something I wanted to ask you because I might be doing this soon. Mm-hmm. I tried to microdose shrooms and it was working, but I shouldn't be doing that all the time.
Yeah, no.
So I'm looking into weed, and I'm not a weed guy. Mm-hmm. But there's like certain strands that are like for depression, apparently. What are your thoughts on that being 420? And I know that you smoke, but you don't do it in like a recreational, like, it helps you, right?
It does. I mean, I would say like it's a recreational occasionally if like I'm with friends and stuff, but for the most part I do it because it keeps me from having anxiety attacks. It keeps me from slipping into depression. I am able, especially when I'm having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, and it's a bad one and I'm crying and I can't breathe and I'm hyperventilating. Yeah. The best thing for me to do is to smoke because I have to focus on the process of smoking and inhaling and not coughing.
Yeah.
And, like, everything that it makes me.
Does it give you anxiety? That sounds like you have to like make sure. It gives me anxiety just thinking of that.
No, it calms me down because it makes, instead of trying to, my brain is working so fast.
Right. Slow it down.
Yeah, that's why I
make it calm.
Make any kind of
but you're
decision.
Right, but you're a productive weed smoker. I think that there's another stigma there. By the way, the people that say, "Oh, potheads are lazy," they might just be lazy people that happen to smoke weed.
Yeah,
so you can't take that and go like, if they were hardworking before, then they smoke, then they're lazy. Sure. But I guarantee those people were still sitting on their parents' couch at 35 doing nothing.
Yeah, they never stopped from when they were 16, 20
that's,
years later.
That's what I'm saying. And so now you're telling me that, no, get out of here. Mm-hmm. I remember when weed was like a really, really big no-no. Like, it was really bad. Now it's like, it's like better for you than like drinking ever was.
How are you going to like say it's bad for you when we've legalized it? We have like medicinal.
Well, I think the argument would be they legalized it to make money, not they legalized. It's stupid because there's a reason for it being a medicinal thing. What alcohol is medicinal? Yeah. Except like, obviously like rubbing alcohol or shit like that, but okay. So, eating healthy, exercise. Do you do yoga or like those Pilates and all that shit?
I took my first Pilates class a couple weeks ago.
You look like a Pilates girl.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go back. It was a lot of fun.
Are you a hot yoga girl? I've never done that.
I haven't done that yet.
I'm scared.
It's already pretty warm when you do yoga.
Right.
You don't have the air going.
Yeah, so hot yoga, I'd pass out. I would pass out. I need to stay hydrated.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I could do hot yoga. It sounds like fun. but I don't know if it could happen.
All right. Is this okay? So you don't have like any, I mean, that you know of like major like addictions or things you're nervous about. Is there anything that you're worried about down the line that something can kind of creep into your brain or your body and like kind of fuck you up? Or do you think, because I'm worried about that for myself.
I always worry. I mean, I'm not an avid drinker. Like, I'll go out and I'll have a couple drinks.
Yeah, you're 23. You should have some drinks at this
like,
point.
It's very rare that like I go out and drink a lot though.
And nobody lets you pay because guys are like, "Hey, girl, let me get that drink."
Basically, I mean, it's easier to drink for free.
God, I want to be a girl sometimes. I go into gay bars sometimes just to get free drinks. I'm like, "Oh, this isn't worth it," because like I'm just.
Drinks at gay bars too.
Huh? Avi, but I mean, I get where you can get drinks. I have to figure it out, you know. I go on Grindr just to get free food.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, dinner. But I mean, I don't like to drink, but I do worry that like if I like, I mean, I like the feeling of being drunk. I don't like to drink, so
Okay, so that is it a numbness thing?
It's the.
I'm the opposite.
Of inhibition. I like the fact that like I don't have that fear to kind of be myself.
Shit.
I'm kind of more relaxed.
But you don't like the taste of alcohol. I love beer.
Tequila is the only thing I like, and
Are you Hispanic?
No.
I've never heard this.
Oh, I love tequila.
You look like you would like a beer or something.
No, I mean I'm liking.
You a champagne girl?
Oh, I like champagne.
Yeah, you look like a wine girl.
Champagne, wine, and tequila.
You know what you look like? Which is funny because I think I'm dead on. Box wine.
You're such a dick. No Franzia for me. I'm out of college.
I know, but you just eat top ramen and drink Franzia.
No.
Fucking perfect.
I have a bottle of Riesling that's in a cat like ceramic bottle
right. Are you worried about everything you go through with mental illness and, you know, your family's past in terms of future relationships with boyfriends and or your friends?
Yeah, because I know when like I know certain months I'm triggered more. So like the month of March is the anniversary of my grandmother who raised me for a short time. She passed away from cancer and I watched it all go down.
Yeah.
So the month of March
tough.
is never easy for me. Like I will have 3 solid weeks of just like it'll be hard to see me smile. It'll be hard to see me be really like I'll be there and I'm present.
Yeah.
But I'm not happy and
Do you act out drinking or anything else? No? That's good.
I sleep.
You're a sleeper.
I'm a sleeper. When I get really down.
Do you dream? Do you have vivid dreams?
I don't. That's actually a side effect of smoking.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing is I don't want to lose my dreams.
Yeah.
I dream about banging Taylor Swift all the time, and now I'm not going to be able to.
Before bed, you should be okay.
Well, I mean, it's always going to be before bed, right? Because if it was at 8 a.m., then it's before my bedtime at whatever 12 a.m. Okay, so all right. What about your siblings? How do they look coming up in this world?
I mean, we all.
Everybody struggles.
Yeah, we all have our issues, and we've. My mom is also bipolar.
Oh, I have that. 2 or 1? Do you know? If it's 1, it's worse.
I don't know. I know my sister has bipolar B, which is the second one.
Yeah, that's what I have.
So my younger sister has bipolar B. I'm not sure what my mom is, but I know that in her records they had talked about potential schizophrenia and depressive. And
yeah.
My mom's got it all. And so growing up, our step parents always tried to place labels on us. If we acted out, it was, oh, you're ADHD because your mom is. Or, oh, you're bipolar because your mom is. And it was never like we got tested. It was just they wanted to say we were like that because our mom was. I mean, fortunately now we have gotten tested, and one of my sisters does have bipolar, but she treats it, and she treats it well. And she does okay.
And she's the one, is she the one that's a mom? A newly mom?
She is the new mom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you worried about her kid?
I'm not worried. I feel like.
Now I'm just asking you super personal questions. How is the guy in this scenario?
He's very present.
Yeah.
He lives with my sister at my dad's house with the baby. They stay.
Does he have a job?
He does. He has a job. They pay my dad
I like this guy.
Rent. Like he's young, but he's doing his.
Is he younger than her?
No, I think he's like a year older.
Did you have a hard time letting somebody like that in your life, knowing that he's gonna?
Yeah, it took him a while, and
he's putting a kid into your.
Yeah, it took
sister.
until my till my sister's baby shower for me to really be okay
Really?
with everything.
It's tough because you're taking the role of not just you, but your mom almost, because you were her mom and you're only 5 years apart or whatever. That's hard because you think about it, 13 years apart, you're basically a 13-year-old mom to your brother.
Yep.
And then, a 5-year difference mom to your sister while dealing with all the other bullshit that you have to deal with just as a kid going to school and puberty and all that fun stuff. So that's tough.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am nervous to ever have kids. Like, I have way more sex than I should be having, and it's all a condom. I make sure everything's good because I feel like if I have a kid, they're going to get my mental illness. So I'm really nervous about that. Are you worried that you're going to get your kid, if you have one, kids are going to inherit not just your mental illness, but addiction stuff from your family?
Every day. I'm one of 5, and I'm probably the only one of the 5 that has ever said, like, I don't want to have kids.
Would you adopt? You'd be a great mom.
I would love to adopt.
I want to adopt too.
I've thought about adopting, but I'm also afraid I will be a bad mom because
Why?
I didn't have a mom figure to teach me
Well, yeah, but
what a mom was like.
Yeah, but you had to be there for other people as a mom, so it's like, I feel like it's like second nature at this point where it would just be part of your description.
That's what
Especially if you're a teacher. Teachers are moms for that 6 hours or whatever it is. They really are. Like, you're taking a nap time. Here's fucking, depending on the grade. Be great if, I don't know why they don't have nap time in like 7th and 8th grade. Like, everybody needs a nap. It would help the teachers.
It would help the teachers.
Little siesta.
Students.
I'm taking a nap after this for sure.
I think we should do that. We should pass it in law.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is
Open an hour
nobody.
1 hour.
I don't care how miserable you are. Nobody's against a nap, dude. A good fucking half-hour nap, little power nap before fucking history. Done.
But I mean, yeah, I worry that if I have a kid, that addiction would definitely. That's always been a fear of mine, and I've always told my parents you're getting grand puppies because I've just, the thought of having a child scares me, especially if it means that they could end up having depression or anxiety or bipolar or manic depressive or just anything. Like, not that I wouldn't know how to handle it because I would do everything I could with the knowledge that I have, and I would inform myself even more, but it would still worry me because I would never want anyone else to feel the way I feel.
Right.
Especially my kid.
Yeah, it's tough. Okay, so I act out with mental illness and other issues, and it's really a bad thing with sexually. So like the other night's an example. I was like, I hadn't had sex in 5 months. I gave it up for a while, and then I just couldn't handle it anymore. So I drove to Palm Springs, and I had like a foursome. And it's like, it's not healthy. One of the girls was 19. Like, I'm like, what am I doing in my life? I didn't know this till I got there. I mean, I did my thing, but I was like, I felt so shitty on the way home. Like, what am I? Well, cause I try to fuck my depression away. Like, I think that if I come, I'll feel better. And I mean, you kind of do, but I feel nothing now. Well, I mean, unless it's a connection with somebody and it's like a relationship, then I'll feel love or whatever. But when it's just a girl I don't know that's 19, I'm just going to come and then feel nothing and then feel worse. I don't think you have that problem, but do you have another addiction where you're worried about? It could be like as simple as like coffee or, you know what I mean? Or like in and out. I mean, because I think what happens is we take these addictions and an addiction I'm using loosely, but I'm using it because I am addicted. And you take these addictions and what you do is you use it to cope with whatever you're going through. So some people drink 5 coffees a day or cigarettes or. Mine would be
controlling my eating.
Okay.
So, like,
explain that.
If I'm super stressed out, and I feel like I don't have enough time in the day to do what I need to do, like I will not eat. Like I won't get hungry. But
you're not like anorexic or bulimic.
No.
But I mean, did you ever have any eating disorders?
Never that I was diagnosed with.
Shit. You are so skinny you could Hulu with the Cheerio, so there's that.
I mean, I definitely, like, in school for, like, 4 or 5 months, I lost, like, 20 to 30 pounds because I just wasn't taking care of myself.
That's so unhealthy.
I thought I was in control, but, I mean, I wasn't. I thought I was doing what I needed to do, and I thought I was getting enough to get by, but I wasn't, and I wasn't taking care of myself. But I mean, I've done a lot since then to do what I need to do to get my weight back up, to get my, and I wasn't mentally healthy at the time because I wasn't feeding myself. My depression was even stronger.
Been there.
And it was a lot harder for me to come out of it. But when I did, I realized what a detriment I was to myself for doing that like I'm now very more on top of it, and I keep a log, so I like
good for you. You're right. That's good advice to journal stuff.
I journal stuff down because it'll help me focus on like the little things, and then it helps me plan and stay organized to where my thoughts are more linear rather than scrambled. Right
Okay. All right, so that's, I mean, it's not healthy, but it's better than having a sex addiction or drug addiction or anything like that. I mean, I think at 23, you know, I don't think you would have a sex addiction because you're just a 23-year-old, you know? That's not a normal thing but from our talks, it doesn't seem like that's which is really good, because I think now it's more exposed. People have, like, their 7-year-olds have smartphones. You can watch porn on that shit. Yeah. It's insane. There's probably kids experimenting early on, and that scares me.
I have middle schoolers in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade that are all
talking about like blowjobs and shit.
Yeah, talking about sexual activity.
Really?
Like how
8th grade was a thing for us though. Like that was when I tried some stuff then.
No, not even until freshman. Not until I was in high school. For me.
Good for you.
Me personally, it wasn't until
my first kiss, Fat Friday, Mary Beth Dower, Cactus Cooler. Oh. She drank Cactus Cooler. I tasted on her tongue. It was good times.
I almost brought a Cactus Cooler.
Dude, it would have brought me back to Mary Beth. I still talk to her, and I thank you for that first kiss.
That's cute.
Yeah, I went down on a girl in 8th grade.
Wow.
And I was supposed to have sex with her, but I couldn't do it because I thought I was gonna like get her pregnant, and I was worried, so I didn't. So she dumped me and had sex with 2 other guys, and not at the same time, but I felt really bad. And then, but yeah, no, I liked doing that in 8th grade. I mean, I didn't do it at all in high school. It was weird. I skipped like 4 years of it, but in 8th grade, she would like tell me how she likes it, and then I still use like that, not that technique, but like communication's big, you know?
Yeah, very big.
Speaking of communication, do all your friends or your close friends, family, the guy you're seeing now, do they know what's going on with you? Because you're very honest about shit. Or
I am, and yeah, I mean, for the most part, if you're within my,
you got to be in your close group of niche people or whatever.
That, or like at work, like I'm very open about it at work because we have clearings, and so it's like when you come into work, if there's something on your mind, you have a clearing, and you let them know, like, hey, I'm here. I will do my best to be present, but this is what's on my mind.
Right.
And it could be like I went in there plenty of times when my mom was transitioning into actually going to prison, and it was affecting me because I was like, wow, you know, it's for real. It's going to be 7 years. Like, she'll be out when I'm 30. And it was a lot to take in.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm pretty, for the most part, if like, I know you need to know because of like a work reason or because you're close to me and you should know, or because I know it's going to affect me, like I will reach out and I'll just be like, hey, yeah, this is what's going on. Like I try to keep it pretty blunt because I'm never asking for sympathy or pity. I don't care. Like I've been through what I've been through because that was my path, but it doesn't make me any less of a person. So I don't have a problem just being like, hey, this is what I've got going on. This is what it is. Take it or leave it.
Right. You talked about anxiety a little bit. I think everybody has a different definition of anxiety. I don't think you should just Google what the definition is because everybody's anxiety is different, just like the depression is. Right. Ah, fuck that. What would your definition of anxiety be if you could put it into words?
So for anxiety for me is I get like, I mean, it's an overwhelming sense of dread or unsureness. I don't know what's going on. I don't know even the most logical path or like explanation. Like someone could explain something to me like A plus B plus C and this is how you get it. And I'd be like, it doesn't make sense. And I can't focus.
Yeah.
And then
I'm the same way.
On top of that, like I'll start, my hands will get clammy, my feet will get clammy, I won't be able to breathe like straight. I'll be like either taking too deep of breaths or I'm breathing too fast or I'm holding my breath or it turns into like I'll start crying and I can't understand why I'm crying and I'll shake and it'll be just like a all body convulsion kind of just panic that oversets like and that's anxiety for me.
Okay, that's good. I like that. Well, you put it eloquently, which is great. All right, final question. Do you have any advice for friends of people dealing with depression or people that are dealing with it that might not know, or that have parents that have similar struggles as your mom and that don't know how or why they might have these struggles?
My best advice would be is find your outlet. Find what is the one thing that makes you happy, even if it's just this, like, you like to drink orange juice. Like, if that's the case, go buy orange juice. You know, like, find the one thing that can kind of help you get over the minor speed bump.
Yeah, pulp or no pulp?
Yeah, no pulp.
Oh, pulp all the way.
Oh, God, gross.
But so good.
Just, like, and keep communication open. Like, if you feel like you're noticing a friend that is kind of pulling themselves away from everybody, they're not exactly their safe selves, you know, reach out. It never ever hurts to be like, hey, worried about you. You doing okay? Love you. Like,
I wish people were more like that, but sometimes people are dealing with their own shit and they're
They
selfish
are.
and
that's very
but that's
true.
being a 20-something, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, it never hurts to just, like, I follow a Twitter page and it's like random it sends you like thoughtful things for the day. It like retweets things throughout the whole day. It'll be like, take a second too, and then it'll be like, look up from the screen, stop scrolling, like go outside, or text a friend. Like, it has little tweets like that.
I love that.
And I follow it because it gives you that moment to be like, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sitting
I need to do
nothing.
this.
I should text my friend. Or
Yeah, I do that.
Go outside for a minute. And like, I try to do little like acts of kindness for like myself that I
like the Honda random acts of helpfulness.
Yeah, basically. Like, I mean, it's little things. Like, I made extra dinner that I knew my roommate was gonna like, and I left the leftovers.
Oh, see, it's the little things in life.
And she was so stoked, and she like tweeted it, and she's like, you know, when the roommate comes in clutch, thanks, and she like tagged me, and I was like, that was like made me so happy, and my heart was so warm. Or like, another roommate bought me a pair of socks that had like elephants on it because I love elephants.
Yeah.
And it's like little things like that, like, can really help brighten your day, because it's just the small things you remember about other people will make that one person feel a little bit more significant.
Wow, I like that. Okay, final question.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Gosling, Daniel Radcliffe, Chris Pratt, Zac Efron, The Rock, or let's see, one more. Harry Styles. Who do you make out with?
Oh my goodness, there's so many choices.
Would it be Harry Potter? Or is that weird to make out with Harry Potter?
I'm not attracted to Harry Potter.
But wouldn't you want to make out with Harry Potter just to like make out with him?
I would rather make out with Ron Weasley.
With who?
Ron Weasley.
I don't even know. Oh, the redhead kid?
Yeah.
Jesus, the ginger?
I love him. Rupert Grint. I'm getting a tank top that says I get sleazy for Ron Weasley just to Potter world.
I always thought Ed Sheeran was that guy the whole time. No. He looks like him.
Yeah, no, they do, but they don't.
There's like a post about it. Okay, so out of those guys, the other ones. So Zac Efron, The Rock, Harry Styles. Can't go wrong with that guy.
I mean,
Man Crush Monday.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have anything that you want to promote? Any types of like projects or like listening to your other? You got to do more podcasts, I think.
I will definitely try to do more podcasts.
Well, I'm trying to get you as a co-host, but you're just backing away. I'm too busy. Blah blah blah.
I have a subbing gig for like 3 weeks.
I get it.
I don't know what you want me to do.
I need you to sub here.
The kids need me.
So does this podcast. If you liked Hannah, let me know, and I will try to get her to co-host and just keep bothering her. Thank you so much for coming on. You're the best, and this will be out in a couple weeks. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you next week on Discussing Depression. Bye.